Oh, this is just what kind of light do I want? So this is the Toronto Daily News for Saturday, January the 12th, 2019. It's as with the last several months in Canada, it's been a day of protests about pollution and jobs, money. There's been a whole bunch of rolling highway pro-pipeline yellow vest protests across Alberta. And it's actually been a little difficult to try to get this all into focus. So I'm going to report this as best I can, but I'm a little confused at this point. What I can say is there's a big rally in Red Deer and with tons of trucks, tons of attendees, but I don't know whether it was going somewhere or just proceeding around the area. There's an upcoming convoy in February. This is going to be the big one to go from Red Deer to Ottawa. On Wednesday, there was also a big convoy protest at Nisku. And some people are claiming there was over 2,000 vehicles involved in that, so at least 2,000 individuals. The official numbers were around half that. The Red Deer one is officially supposed to be, the numbers are supposed to be like 300 or something vehicles, 165 semis, 150 pickups. And meanwhile, at the same time, a small vehicular convoy, which I can't find good video of, was apparently going through Calgary. And of course, in all these different places, there's also been protesters on foot, on sidewalks and stuff, picketing. And so the vehicular convoys and the pedestrian activists have been able to greet each other and everything like that and support each other. With the rolling protests here in Toronto, that was an anti-pipeline solidarity action in solidarity with the Wet'suwet'en. There was a very small number of people involved in that, but we got great video of it. And so it's very easy to confirm the numbers, what the route was, and exactly how it went. It's so easy to live stream these days. So my suggestion to yellow vest activists, while you're doing these convoys, you're so organized, convoys are apparently so big, go live. So there was a third action on Saturday in Alberta where I'm so confused on this still. I'm trying to put it all together, but that's kind of the cool thing about these convoys and stuff like that, is they're really spontaneous. They're numerous. And so even if it's hard to report on, that's even better if it's complicated and it feels volatile, that's an activist victory. So there was another convoy from Grimshaw to Peace River. And I think I also I have not been able to find video of this as well. But I got to do more research. But so several convoys, and of course there's also I found one video of somebody claiming that they're in Saskatoon on a convoy, and I couldn't, on Saturday afternoon, couldn't find any reportage on this. So it's a nice, unstable, unpredictable activism campaign. In terms of the way they're treading, the Yellow Vest campaign has some volatility to it that is making it a little hard to report on. Or I'm just a bad reporter, which is the other thing. A overnight cold snap rocked the GTA. Stuff warmed up, but this is kind of our first reminder, or another reminder of the upcoming season where it becomes super dangerous for homeless people and stuff like that. I'm going to do a big redaction on my bad reportage about the Jamie Kloss case that I was making yesterday. I'm going to just try and compensate by telling the story properly. So October, November, December, like through the fall, through the winter, beginning of the winter, Jamie Kloss, this 13-year-old from Wisconsin, was being held captive at this house in the middle of nowhere, really far away from her hometown. I mean, she'd gone missing, they'd done searches, but she was 77 miles from her home. The guy that abducted her did such a good job of murdering her parents, invading the home, and getting in and out apparently within about 4 minutes, and just being gone, because that's the time between when police got their first call about it, and not about it. It was just one of those, inaudible stuff on the other side. So they go to investigate. It only took the cops 4 minutes to show up. By that time, it was fait accompli, and they didn't find any evidence at the scene. It was so the guy shotgunned his way into the place, got rid of both parents with the shotgun, managed to abduct this poor child, and then got out of the whole area, leaving zero evidence within seemingly 4 minutes, unless that call was made in the middle of the attack or something like that, which, of course, maybe it was. But that's, for me, that's question number one. So they're searching for months. And then what everybody does know, she was found by somebody walking their dog in this town that she had no idea about this. So she was wandering around. So she's wandering in the woods. The guy, Jamie Patterson, this 21-year-old with no record, who somehow was carrying out this abduction and murder. He went to the point of shaving his head and stuff to not leave any evidence. He was super methodical, but fast as well. And he was searching for her at the same time. So what it seems like happened is, based on Jamie, the girl's description of his vehicle, they found him while he was searching for her, so she managed to escape from this house. The other ridiculous thing about this case is, after the abduction and during their search for Jamie, their nationwide search, just ongoing, month after month. Actually, I don't know when, what late October. So this is not super long after she went missing. So this guy must have noticed the news about her and decided to do a panty raid on this 13-year-old at her house that was at this point empty, but had some equipment there left behind by the police. So police thought, okay, we better leave something here. So they had cameras and motion detectors. So they imagine being a cop during this case, getting a ping that there's somebody at this house. You show up and it's this guy trying to steal her clothes. Somehow they figured out that he had nothing to do with her abduction and that he was just committing talk about where it's like morbid perversion, a morbidly perverted robbery. That blows my mind. So the actual murder and child abductor, he worked at the same factory that his victims' parents were like supervisors or something at. And it's like 3 years before any of this happened, and for only 2 days. That's the only connection that police have been able to find so far between Jake Patterson and this family, and they don't know how this whole thing started. So CBS has done a big program about this on the First 48, and some YouTubers have been tying things together, and it's just the guy left absolutely no evidence. They had some cars that they were investigating because they had CCTV footage of mysterious cars, but that didn't yield anything. The neighbors in the area at night, after hearing a whole bunch of gunshots just after midnight, figured it was hunters, so they didn't call the cops or anything. So there's no proper way to segue out of that. So my one local news item for today's Toronto news is on Saturday afternoon at Ontario Place, Waterfront for All held a community consultation meeting to discuss the future of Ontario Place. And just catching up anyone who hasn't been paying attention to this issue, Ontario Place is up for grabs. It could be cleared away. It could be turned into something monolithic. It could be turned into a casino. The Liberals had this whole unfunded plan for it, and now, of course, the Conservatives are threatening to do wild conservative things with it. If you want to really catch up with this issue, check out the live stream that Waterfront for All took of this meeting. So for the Toronto news for Saturday, 12th of January, this is your host, Dorian Sky, wishing you a fantastic Sunday.